Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another cooking demo here at the Lebanon Senior Center. We are continuing our celebration of National Soup Month with another soup. I know, it's shocking. Today, as I promised last week, this is a bit more vegetarian approach, and we are going to be making food. This soup will end up in a blender. I know, crazy stuff. It's not just for fruit smoothies. All right, but for those of you who maybe aren't completely sold on vegetarian and like things a little bit more richer, we'll give some options to bump it up a little bit, not just in calories but flavor too. But it tastes pretty good, you know, on the baseline vegetarian level. It all starts in this lovely saute pan where we've got some olive oil, and I won't lie, a little bit of butter because add a little bit of extra oomph and flavor. If you got to keep the butter out for your diet, that's fine. Just do some extra virgin olive oil. Heating up in here, and we are going to start with zucchini. So we've got green zucchini and yellow squash going in. There's two of them in here. As usual, I tend to make soup for a crowd. So if you're cooking this for yourself, you can actually get one zucchini and one little yellow squash down at the grocery store. You can use half of it in another dish. Saute it up, vegetables as a side dish. And the other half you can do in slices and put them in this pan for your soup. In other words, it's a good leftovers. So if you're cooking for one, half a small zucchini, half a small squash. If you're cooking for two, one zucchini, one little yellow squash. And when I say zucchini, I don't mean those ones that come out of the garden in the summer. I mean the little ones you see in the grocery store, okay? Perspective. So I will say, if you did freeze up some zucchini over the summer, if you got shredded zucchini or something, you can certainly do the soup with that as well. Whether it's frozen or not doesn't really matter. The texture, it's going to get blended up. We're putting in the saute just because we saute vegetables, caramelizes those veggies just a little bit. It just brings out the flavor. So you can certainly do that with your frozen squash as well. So you've got packed away in the freezer and need to find new ways to use it. Alrighty. And since I'm sharing soup this time, I'm being extra precautious. So I am going to keep my mask on in support of all that COVID awareness. And we checked it out, and it looks like the audio is going to go just fine. All right. I'm going to rush it along here a little bit. As this sautés down, you're going to add in bell pepper. Again, I've got two red bell pepper in here. If you are doing it just for yourself, you can use half a bell pepper. Just julienne strip that down and throw them in there, and you can save the other half of your bell pepper for something else. Or if there's two of you, one whole bell pepper. All right. Again, just sauteing down, making it happy. Last but not least, I've got some little baby cherry tomatoes, and they're going to jump in this saute pan as well. All right, so I've let the vegetables saute in a pan. I did cover them, help them steam, make them soften up a little bit faster. So as the zucchini starts to get a little brown on it, as the squash, now just gets that hint of brown. You don't want it to burn. But just start to get a little bit of caramelization on the squash. We are going to add just a few more things, liven it up a bit. I am a big garlic fan, so we are adding a good old, I'm going to add, what is this? Teaspoon and a half a tablespoon, however you want to look at it. Maybe a little bit more. Can't help myself. Out of control. The garlic. I know if you come around, you see more than one of these. I'm really bad at measuring things. That's how I cook. All right, and this is marjoram. One of my favorite herbs. Some people aren't familiar with it. So I'm going to add about, I should cheat and just take off the lid. I'll probably get a whole handful. About two, I'll say 2 teaspoons of marjoram. And then some thyme. Aha, you always got to add more thyme, right? All right, about a teaspoon of thyme into it. And about, I'm going to say a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. All right, this is something fancy. Not everybody has this in their cupboard. I understand, but I also like to barbecue. This is salt. This is Alderwood smoked sea salt, to be exact. It's going to add a little more smokiness to our dish. If you have just regular salt, you can certainly add just a little bit of regular salt, or again, whatever your dietary restrictions are, please abide by those. You can do a salt substitute or nothing. It's definitely a palate thing just for you to figure out. I'm going to send them to the back corner, but salt can help enhance the flavors. You don't need it to taste salty. You want to taste the vegetables, but I know that we've got to be careful about that salt intake. Magic spatula comes back out. There we go. Just going to give a chance for that garlic to get blended around in here. All righty. Go ahead and turn off that. There we go. The tongues are coming out. Now, if I was doing a big batch of this, like I will be doing in a minute, figure out my big blender. But when I discovered, when I made this up, I was having a toothache, and I couldn't eat really hard food for a while. So, in desperation, I made sautéed vegetables for somebody who was here for dinner, and I blended up the rest of the vegetables and turned them into soup. So that's what this is. I don't know what we want to call it, but I think they phrased it right when they called "Oh You Didn't." So this, I guess I will call it "Oh You Didn't" soup. When they saw me start blending up my vegetables, they got a kick out of it. So I've got a personal sized, because I figured this would work for camera pretty well, individual little blender that I usually make smoothies in. This time I'm going to stuff some vegetables in it. Haha. Maybe if I can catch them all. First, it's a game. Can you catch the vegetable? Get all the good guts in there. And of course, I think whoever gets the bottom of the pot gets all the extra tomato juices, but you know. There we go. Maybe just one more in there. That looks pretty good. Yeah, add just a little bit more squash. There we go. All right, I'm going to add just a little bit of water. About a fourth of a cup of water. And this is where you can add a little fat if you would like to. If it's not something that's going to bother you, you can just blend it like this, and it'll turn it into a nice smooth vegetable soup. Or if you want a little more luxuriousness, our friend Milkor, for me, heavy whipping cream, just a little bit. I'm probably going to say 1/8 of a cup. It's going to go in there. And I'm going to put my lid on, or I should say the blender part. All right, this is the advisory warning. If you are not yet muted, please mute yourself until I turn back to the camera, because no matter which product you have, blenders are loud. This is your one and only warning. Okay? Putting it in right's always a... Oh, there we go. Yeah, the volume's down there. All right. Okay. So do that volume back on. Of course, then you gotta get the lid back off. This is where you work off the calories. Maybe. It's even hot. Ooh. Okay. A little extra. All right. Two other options that you can do with the soup. Again, if you're not watching it, or if you just want a little bit of indulgence, you can just do a slight little sprinkle of some Parmesan cheese, or even a dollop of sour cream. Since I put the cream in my soup, I'm not going to put it on top of this one. But I've also done it that way too. Don't put the cream in the soup. Go ahead and blend it without the cream. And then when you're finished, it's going to look a little bit brighter because you want to put the cream in. And then you can add a dollop of sour cream on top. So you can swirl in that luxury, that special mouthfeel that the sour cream will add in. Tastes delicious, super healthy for you. A lovely creamy vegetable soup. Really smooth going down, tasty, and very filling, packed with nutrition any day of the week. And as you saw, it cooks quick. You can use it with your leftover vegetables from a dinner you didn't finish using. And it's easy to make for one in a small personal blender. Super, super simple. I hope you're inspired by it. Let me know in the comments how you've adjusted it to make it your own. You guys take care, stay safe and healthy. Have a great afternoon from the Lebanon Senior Center. We are thinking of you.